Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call to order the May 24th, 2023 Centennial School District work session. As a work session, it has an abbreviated type and style of agenda, so we'll be following along with the agenda that's been provided in board book. We do have a quorum present, and we will be welcoming in two other board directors, our chair, Rose Solinsky, and Claudia Andrews, when they arrive. And so we'll just take note of, I see Rose popping in on the screen right now. So that's good. And then Claudia, when we have her available. So are there any, I already asked about the agenda. You may have heard me ask about the question about the agenda. Are there any other additions to the agenda, office personnel, that I may have missed that's otherwise presented in board book? Going once, going twice. All right, then we will approve the board agenda as presented. But we do have something special this evening under our section called Introduction to Guests. This is called a CCC introduction. Hello, Claudia. Yay. Have everybody now. And I'm going to turn that over to you, Superintendent Owens, so that you can give us a brief rundown and recognize the CCC recognition award winners.
Perfect. Thank you, Vice Chair Shields. All right, so each year Centennial presents CCC awards to honor employees who set a high standard for others through their caring, commitment, and/or creativity, and who make a difference every day. This award is recognized in collaboration with our Chief Communications Officer, Albert Rosales Correa, and our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Tasha Katsuda. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chief Rosales Correa, who is going to cue us up this evening. So.
Thank you, Superintendent Owens. Good evening, Board Chair Zalowski, Board Chair, Co-Chair Shields, Superintendent Owens, and our Board of Directors. Thank you for your time presenting tonight. I'm humbled to present this evening's CCC Award for the 2023 recipients. These awards serve as a way to show students, staff, and the community the positive efforts put forth by employees who go above and beyond the scope of their positions. This year, we received a good number of entries from people who highlighted tremendous work for their nominees achieved to add their success for our Centennial community. And both of tonight's individuals were nominated by their colleagues as exemplary employees to support Centennial in being the best it can be. I'd also like to start off by thanking the committee who helped us put this together and who joined us in making the final decision. Our first CCC award recipient goes out to whom they refer to as one who helps all. The first recipient is known as an epitome of caring, commitment, and creativity at their school, known for their positive impact they have on others, and for building strong relationships in their community and school. But why not have some of these peers, first off, nominate or share their information in their own words for our first nominee? You would cue the video.
Hey, Albert, we're not hearing the sound.
Missy's got the video.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Missy, you may want to stop sharing and then reshare from the beginning. And there's a box in the lower left-hand corner typically that says share sound as well.
Let me get that back up. My apologies, and I will start it at the beginning. Thank you, Albert, for your patience and all.
See, there's also an advanced place because we're still not hearing it.
My name is Josiah Green Alvana.
It's working now.
School counselor at Powell View Elementary. and I was the Sunnyside manager at Valley View for over 3 years. And in that time, I was lucky enough to have our nominee as one of my staff members. And it didn't matter if they were volunteering or working, our nominee was there to help our families and students.
I'm Phyllis Polakowski, second grade teacher. Our CCC nominee does any and everything to help Pellevue families and teachers, always going above and beyond to help our school succeed and to be the caring community that we strive for. They are more than deserving of this CCC award.
Our CCC nominee is a friend, a colleague, an inspiration who brings their big heart to work every day. Without reservation, they are deserving of our collective appreciation and acknowledgement.
For some reason, the audio went out.
Missy, do you want to stop it real quick? I can try to share it from my end.
I'm sorry, did you say that, Albert?
Yeah, I'll share it from my end.
Oh, is it not coming through on mine?
There's no audio.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay.
Give me
So
one
I'll stop
second.
sharing.
She stops to say hello to everyone. Take.
Can you hear the audio?
My name is Josiah Green Albano, and I'm the school counselor at Powell Butte Elementary. And I was the Sun site manager at Powell Butte for over 3 years. And in that time, I was lucky enough to have our nominee as one of my staff members. And it didn't matter if they were volunteering or working, our nominee was there to help our families and students.
I'm Phyllis Polakowski, second grade teacher. Our CCC nominee does any and everything to help Pellevue families and teachers, always going above and beyond to help our school succeed and to be the caring community that we strive for. They are more than deserving of this CCC award.
Our CCC nominee is a friend, a colleague, an inspiration who brings their big heart to work every day. Without reservation, they are deserving of our collective appreciation and acknowledgement.
My name is Diane Regis, the assistant principal of Powell Butte Elementary. Our CCC nominee has the biggest heart that continues to pour love, compassion, grace, and care with a strong sense of duty to serve. She is selfless in all that she does, uses her skills as an educational assistant, her experience as a centennial parent, and her strong sense of her culture to advocate for the needs of students and families, and share knowledge to support staff and families connect to build strong relationships. She has a can-do attitude that motivates and encourages others.
Hi, I'm Jared Austin, the principal of Powell Butte Elementary. Our CCC nominee is a tireless worker who's embedded herself deeply in the community where she works and calls home. However, it's not these roles that make our nominee special. She stops to say hello to everyone, takes the time to learn about their lives and families, and truly listens each person she comes across. She loves all of us, and for that, we love to take this opportunity to love her back by recognizing all she does for each of us every single day. For this and so much more, Powell Butte Elementary is proud to nominate our ELD Educational Assistant, Ana Martinez, for the 2022-23 Triple C Award.
Thank you and congratulations to our Triple C winner from Powell Butte Elementary, Ana Martinez. I would like to take this moment to welcome Principal Jared Austin and Assistant Principal Diane Regis to say a few words. Are Jared and Diane in the queue? Oh, okay.
All right, thank you. Ana does so much for Powell Butte, the Powell Butte community and all of our students. She represents everything we strive to be at Powell Butte Elementary. Our students, staff, and families are so lucky to have her. This award is only a small token and way for us to show appreciation and thank her for all that she does. Congratulations, Ana. I couldn't think of anybody more well-deserved. Thank you.
That is a person that we all look up to, and I can't say anything more but great gratitude for everything that she does, and wishing that we have more people like Ana in this world. We love you, Ana.
Thank you, Principal Austin and Assistant Principal Regis. Once again, congratulations to Ana Reyes. And at this time, I would like to welcome Ana to say a few words. Ana?
Oh my God. I don't know what to say. I do this because I care about my community. I care about my kids.
Was not expecting
I
this?
was not expecting this. I thought it was just to recognize all of us. But thank you for the nomination. It's hard work, and just loving the kids is very important, and knowing their background and what they're going through. I show them what I went through, so I kind of understand what they're going through when they're here for the first time in our country. I don't know what else to say, but thank you.
Thank you,
I
Ana.
love our school and I love our kids.
Thank you, Ana. Felicidades en tu nombramiento y destacado premio Triple C del Distrito Escolar de Centennial. Enhorabuena. Y I'd like to share
Gracias.
now with us our second award recipient and their school. Our next Triple C award recipient is known for their kind tone and smile, direct and honest communication, and who possesses abilities that are far exceeding the expectations of their job duties. And now if I can direct your attention to our next production as we recognize our second award recipient. Get that video for you.
I'm Rachel Kimbrough, one of the instructional coaches here at Butler Creek. And our CCC nominee has always been friendly, pleasant, warm, and polite, despite whatever circumstance, and demonstrates constant professionalism.
I'm Leslie Ward, and I'm a fourth grade teacher at Butler Creek, and I would definitely say that our CCC nominee goes above and beyond for our school community. Whether helping me to fill out a timesheet or navigate my bereavement leave, our nominee's deep and nuanced understanding of school systems and procedures has been a lifeline. Our nominee is on top of all of it, supporting teachers and staff every.
We lost the audio, Albert.
Hi, I'm rich wealth of information.
Sorry for that.
Hi, I'm Regina Gonzalez, and I teach third grade at Butler Creek Elementary. Our CCC nominee has such a kind heart and is always looking for ways to help our school. I've seen our nominee come in early and stay late so many times, just to make sure our school stays afloat and is able to function. I've known our nominee for more than 10 years, and I've always appreciated the little and big ways that she looks out for me. Our nominee is one of the most hardworking people that I've ever had.
Hello, my name is Karen Kennedy, and I'm the assistant principal at Butler Creek Elementary School. And I want to talk about our CCC nominee. Our nominee definitely sets a high standard for others through their caring, commitment, and creativity. Considering the number of hours it takes to respond to the constant and incessant flow of disruptions, our nominee possesses the uncanny ability to focus, unfocus, and refocus upon these quote unquote regular tasks, yet they somehow manage to complete all of their tasks on time. As a person whose work ethic is focused upon accuracy, precision, and timely task completion, it's clear that our nominee's productivity is centered upon the success of all Butler Creek students, teachers, staff, administrators, and community members. Thank you for considering our nominee.
My name is Gail Sedaris. I'm the principal at Butler Creek Elementary. And at Butler Creek Elementary, our main office is a hub for information and resources with students, teachers, and staff members moving in and out of that space at an average rate of 10 contacts per hour. That's one unsolicited interaction with a small or a big human every 6 minutes. Our CCC nominee does so many things to support our school hub, from helping the nurse remove a lollipop from a kiddo's hair to fixing the laminating machine or removing a splinter and simultaneously answering questions about all things Butler Creek. Our CCC nominee optimizes the conditions for smooth and efficient operations of the school building while effortlessly maintaining their composure and professionalism. For this reason, Butler Creek administrators, teachers, and staff nominate Karina Job for the CCC Recognition 2022-2023 award.
Congratulations to our Butler Creek CCC winner, Karina Job from, of course, Butler Creek. At this time, I would like to welcome Principal Gail Sedaris and Assistant Principal Dr. Karen Kennedy to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. First, let me start off by apologizing to Karina because I got her here by saying that one of the agenda items was talking about secretary roles and responsibilities, since this was a surprise. But I mean, this is my third year at Butler Creek, and I would say that our office staff, just in general, goes entirely above and beyond. Mary and Karina are such an amazing team, and I'm so happy to be working with them. And so, you know, this award really is for the both of them, because Karina wouldn't be able to do her job if Mary wasn't there to do hers. So I just really appreciate all the time and effort and just the commitment that they have to our school community, to our staff, to us as administrators, because they really are what keeps us afloat every single day. So thank you to Karina and thank you, Mary, for all that you do for Butler Creek.
Dr. Kennedy.
Good evening, everyone. Just same thing that Gail said. Karina, Mary, we just really appreciate all that you do. I had lots and lots of anecdotes that I could share, but I know you have a very long agenda here on the board meeting. So just want to, again, say thank you to Karina and recognize Mary as our office team, phenomenal office team at Butler Creek, and congratulations for all the work that you do. We so appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kennedy. And congratulations. If Karina is on there, we welcome Karina to say a couple of words as well. Karina, you're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. We can hear you.
Okay. Well, if you can hear me, I just want to say I'm totally shocked. I had no idea that this is why I'm here, and I want to say congratulations to Anna first. I work with Anna. I like Anna. You're just such a wonderful person, and so during this award. And thank you also for this opportunity for nominating me, because I'm very old. It's very hard for me to tell right now. I just want to thank everybody for having faith in me and for supporting me, because I can't do what I do without all the support from everyone at the Creek and at the district office who support me daily. So thank you.
Thank you and congratulations, Karina. And again, congratulations to both the 2023 CCC Award winners, Ana Martinez and Karina Job. That's it for me. Thank you. And I return the floor to Superintendent Owens and the rest of the board for us to finish the rest of our board meeting. Thank you.
Great, correct. Congratulations again to our CCC award winners. Let's give them another virtual round of applause. All right, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Vice Chair Shields to move us forward in the agenda.
Thank you, and thank you for taking the opportunity, everyone who participated in the presentation, the video presentation. That was wonderful. Board members, I know we enjoy seeing our staff in kind of the places that they live, and then having each of you as colleagues speak on behalf of your CCC applicants, or I guess award winners in this case. Wonderful words, and it just kind of warms our heart to hear about these individuals who make up the Centennial community, and especially how you speak of the students that you serve. My students, our community, just the words that you use to express about your colleagues, and your colleagues, how they express about themselves as well. Just much appreciated for you, Karina and Anna. Congratulations. You're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but there is sunshine outside. And so if you would rather, we'll say good evening to you. But thank you again, everyone. So board members, we're back to the agenda and the kind of the regular stuff that we have to do. And next thing in section 3 is the approval of the May 10th meeting minutes. First of all, I'd like to ask if there are any additions or corrections that need to be made to those minutes prior to asking for a motion to approve. So we're good. So may I have a motion to approve the May 10th board meeting minutes?
Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
David motions. Jess, did you second? And Jess seconded. And I know, Missy, it's sometimes harder to find us and know who's speaking. So David and Jess are our motion makers and our second. So all those in favor indicate by saying aye and maybe waving so we can see it as well.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you so much. Yay. Hi, Rose. Hi. So we've heard from all board members, the minute meetings have been approved for May 10th. We don't have a public forum because, as a reminder, we are in a work session, but we do have reports during these important times. And our first report, as listed in our agenda, is our REAP presentation. And Dominique Andrews is the individual that I see REAP students as a name across the screen. So I'm going to make the assumption that that is the person who's going to be starting us out or speaking to us. And if there's hello, good to see you. Good, 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 good. Just kind of as a reminder, when we do reports to the board, we have everybody available. If you have an actual presentation, you know, something, a video or something like that, to share with us. Let us know ahead of time, because as you can see, sometimes there can be a few technical difficulties. That's not anything new to us. We're very adept to being, you know, working with that, and we certainly will. We try to keep our presentations to the board about 10 minutes. So what I'll probably do, and you guys, I know, move around the screen whenever we're doing presentations. So I might just go do a little wave and, you know, I give you like a 2-minute warning and a 1-minute warning. That's not that we can't go over, but it's nice if we can kind of get it as concise as possible. So we'll work within those kind of box requirements, if you will. So my first thing would be to have you introduce yourselves as speakers tonight, so that we know who you are as you're on our in our picture view here on camera. And then the floor is yours to introduce us to REAP. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dominique Andrews. I work at Oliver Middle School. I'm the YEC here. I'm going to be passing it over to my coworker. He's going to be introducing the students we have here for tonight. Thank you.
Great. Hi, how y'all doing? Good evening. Thank you for having us, finding time for us. We value that. We are appreciative. So tonight we have a couple of students who will be advocating on behalf of their community and their peers as well. And so without further ado, our first student will come up.
Hello. Hello, my name is Olivia. I'm a 5th grader at Parkland Elementary. I've been asked to come and speak before you by REAP. They asked me to speak about problems I have observed in my school and possible ways we can correct them. Some of the problems I'm seeing and hearing about are students being unhappy with the quality of food. For example, the students are complaining of stomach aches and headaches after eating their school lunches. From my observations, I saw staff forcibly tear apart a pizza with gloved hands. I was a student at Oliver for 5 years before being transferred to Parkland. During that time, we had a choice of fruits to select from. That very selection is not being offered at Parkland, as we only have a limited selection such as bananas, dried cranberries, and raisins. Students have complained of finding chunks in milk cartons and even past cold dates. Thank you for letting me have an opportunity to share my feelings and opinions.
And just a word about your presentations. Hi. Go as slowly as you'd like in that, so that we can really make sure we understand everything that you're saying, because sometimes it's a little difficult in this Zoom environment. You've been living Zoom probably for a number of years. So just take a breath and then let's hear your presentation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chris. I am in the 5th grade at Parkland Elementary. Students having a voice is important to me because I believe that students should be heard and understood. We as students make up the majority of the school's community, so we should have a say-so in what's going on. This being said, I am using my voice to tell you now that we as students see many issues such as the unappetizing school lunch. With that being said, I would like to invite you to Parkland so that we can show you around our school and talk more in depth about the issues previously stated and work towards solutions.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my name is Janaea Kraft and I attend Oliver, which is a new middle school as of this year. I am a 7th grader and a part of the Student Government Committee. I think you should come to our school and see how we've grown and changed. I would also like to ask if Oliver could get a new AC system for these hot days, because it is distracting along with uncomfortable to work in and pay attention in such warm conditions. Many kids and students have talked about how they feel sick or sometimes feel like they might pass out from the extreme heat. I'd like to add if we could possibly get more funds to re-renovate our bathrooms, because a lot of kids in the girl bathrooms have seen that the bathrooms are not up to quality and they treat them as less because they do not think that their quality is good. The last thing I would like to ask is to incorporate more people of color into our studies for the Centennial School District. I think it is important to have more knowledge than just Martin Luther King Jr. We should be learning about cultures like their literature and music because they are a big part of our history. Thank you. And again, my name is Janae Kraft.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Katie Kirkpatrick. I'm a 10th grader at Centennial High School, and today I'm coming here to talk about expanding the REAP community. The REAP community is an amazing opportunity for students like myself and younger to really get a brotherhood going and expand the morals that they were built on from their parents and learn great life lessons. Another thing I want to talk about is mental health focus in high school. A lot of people have mental health issues, and it's a real thing. And I personally think it's very important that we should start taking notice and taking stand for those people so they don't feel alone in those situations. I feel like if we start bringing those up to schools, it'll be a lot better for those people. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jalen. I'm 10th grader at Centennial High School. And as my brother Kirk said, we want to expand REAP. And by expanding, there's so many good opportunities that we have, not just for people to join and have fun, but also for scholarships. And one thing I came up here to talk about is racism. I think racism is a big thing, you know, I don't know about your school, but at my school, racism is like a big thing in our school. We'll have students come in, say the N-word this, N-word that. And as a Black community, as a student of BSU, I would like to change that in so many ways. So therefore, there are no more racism and people aren't getting hurt by their actions. Another thing I want to talk about is, I think that we could possibly start a thing called RJ, Restore Justice. It's where a whole classroom could get in one circle and talk about a certain topic or situation that has happened and how it made that person feel. And yeah, that's about it. And again, my name is Jalen and I'm a Centennial.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, my name is Sebastian Godin. I am a 9th grader at Centennial High School, and I wanted to come here and talk about the cleanliness about all of our schools in the Centennial District. So if you ever have walked into Centennial District School, the entrance is really nice, but then if you go more in depth, like the bathrooms or the classrooms, janitors don't really go into classrooms and students don't pick up after themselves. And if we can enforce more rules or even have some janitors go in there, pick some up, or add more employees to go and help us clean our schools, clean our bathrooms, clean our hallways, it will make us feel a more happier and safe environment to live in, and more, because we're going there every day. And if we don't feel like it's clean enough, or if it's sanitary, or if we're too scared of, more sicknesses and making us feel bad, or making us feel not safe, or making our parents feel the school not being worthy enough for us going there, then why would we want to be more interactive in learning? Thank you. Again, my name is Sebastian Godin, and have a great day.
Thank you.
So that was our last student. So we would like to end and give you back the rest of your time. But once again, thank you for this opportunity. We appreciate it, and have a good rest of your evening in general.
Oh, so Dominique, couple of questions. First of all, board members and district members, excellent work and job to each of you for your presentation. It's not an easy thing to do, to come forward in front of people that you don't know very well and have some authority in your lives, if you will, but you spoke really eloquently to what your concerns and your issues are. May I ask, though, one thing of you as a group? You brought up some very important things, things that, for lack of better words, need to be chewed on, right? Thought through, talked about, maybe some solutions or resolutions that could be happening, where you have brought up your concerns. I would love to see, some of you spoke just right from your heart. Some of you spoke from your notes, which were, great. Put a little of that down for us again. I mean, yes, we have this, but I know that when you stand in front of people, it's sometimes afterwards you go, oh, I wish I had said that. I wish I'd shared that. So anything in addition to what you've shared with us this evening that you can add to your presentation, put it in writing and send it into the district office. You got to recognize we do read everything that we get. This is a very involved board, and we're sincerely interested in the voices of our students and our staff. But sometimes we need to have something to refer back to, and having your notes in writing or those other thoughts that are coming to your mind. And we love the invitations. That's really nice. But we also have to have a process for, coming. You don't want us just showing up on your doorstep and wondering what the heck we're doing there, right? So we would like to have that in a process sort of a way. But really great job this evening. But I would like, if you can stay, we've got a minute or so. Board members, if there's any board member that has a question or a comment that they would like to make before our we let you go to a little bit of sunshine left in the evening. So I don't know if Rose can make any comments or not because of her situation, but Rose, if you unmute, you can talk, that would be great. Jess, did you have anything that you wanted to say? I'm just kind of going through the list because you guys are all over my screen. I'm not really sure where everybody is.
I would love to say something.
Yes, okay, so Rose can hear us and Rose can speak. So you are now hearing from Chair Selesky.
I just want to thank all of you students for your words. I hear you. I want to echo your concerns. I know that I've definitely heard from my own kids about school lunches as something that's concerned. And I just want to also say I am a champion for restorative justice, and I really, really love that idea. And I would love to find ways that we can bring that to your school. So thank you all for participating.
Jess, did you have anything you'd like to share or ask or say? You froze on us. Jess, I'm going to move to Claudia and then come back to you because you're frozen. We can see if we can get you. Oh, wait a minute, you're back. Jess, we couldn't hear you. Can you try again?
I wanted to say great job by the students.
Thank you. Claudia?
Really helpful. Thank you so much for everything that you do, and especially for being brave enough, if that's the right word, to come forward and present your issues to the board. Thank you very much.
Roger?
I want to compliment the students on their presentation. It's difficult, as was mentioned, to speak in front of a room full of adults, most of whom you do not know or know very well, and to adhere to a time limit and be organized and forthright. And I appreciate their making the time to come tonight.
David?
Yeah, I just want to say great job to everybody. I was definitely taking notes. And again, my son is at Oliver, so I've heard similar things. So it just emphasizes it for us. But great job on your presentations, and we would love to hear more from you.
Melissa?
Wonderful job, everybody. I speak in public all the time, and that is a very hard thing to do. You did fantastic. I have a request for the young man who brought up RJ. I'm wondering if, yes, hello, I see you back there standing. Yes, come on closer. It's good. You can come close. I'm nice, I promise. Hello. Thank you for bringing it up. A lot of the things I think that your compatriots back there mentioned could really benefit from the practices of RJ. And so I'm hoping to encourage you to add some more to your notes that you send back into us about what your hopes for that would look like, how you foresee that looking in the high school, in the different classrooms, in advisory, and how you would like to see that brought to the high school practices. Is that something you would be willing to kind of flush out a little bit and send back to us?
Yes, 100%.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much for your presentation and for organizing it as well. That was good work, advisor person, Dominique. We appreciate that. And good night to all.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks for having us,
Thank
guys.
you.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, board members, back to our attention to our agenda. Our report 5.2 is the annual wellness committee report. And Denise, your name is under that to kick it off and with everybody and anybody else who might be participating this evening.
Yes, good evening, board. Nutrition Director Kim Burns and myself will be sharing information with you all this evening. And I see Kim is on the screen as well. All right, so after this presentation, as you can see, you will all be provided with information around a few things, specifically around requirements that connect to our policy EFA, which is the local wellness policy, which was renewed this fall. So you're all hopefully fairly familiar with it. And you can see there's several things we're going to touch base on this evening. And then we also want to share some updates with you all about some grants that we have also connected to wellness. For this annual policy, for this local wellness policy, there's several requirements. And one of the requirements is that the district superintendent or their designee has established a wellness advisory committee to advise the district in the development, review, and update of the local wellness policy. As a part of those requirements, there are connected with this policy, the policy implementation, the monitoring of that, accountability, as well as community engagement. There's multiple requirements around those pieces. Kim Burns will specifically speak to some pieces around nutrition here in just a few minutes. But with the annual reporting, historically for us as a district, it has taken place as a report to the board. And we are also welcome to feedback from you all if going forward you would like to continue this reporting format, or if you would just like to have information submitted to you all, and then we can have it posted on our website. So we want to put that out as an option for you all. When it comes to the requirement around establishing a wellness advisory committee, Centennial's been really fortunate to have a well-established committee for many, many years. We used to have two separate committees. We had one committee that focused on staff wellness, and then one that was the official wellness advisory committee. A little bit before the pandemic, those two groups were merged because they were often having the same conversations and really focusing on the same aspects around the health and well-being across our district. And so that became known as the WOW group, which was the Working on Wellness. This group has continued to meet throughout the pandemic, and it meets mostly on a monthly basis. And over the last couple of years, the focus really has been around staff wellness efforts. We've also provided input for the Oregon Healthy Schools Grant. We have completed collectively the Triennial Progress Assessment, which Kim will be speaking about, and also given input around the wellness policy this fall. In reviewing the policy, we do recognize that we are in need of recruiting more members going into the following year. There's several member positions that are suggested, and we recognize that we don't have any students on our committee. We don't have any board members. We have several staff members who are also parents in the district, so they've been serving multiple roles. And so that will be something that we'll be looking at going into the fall. And then as shared before, one of the requirements is our triennial assessment, the WellStat. And so I'm going to turn that over to Kim to speak to the results. And Kim, do you want me to go to the next slide for you?
Yes, please.
You got it.
So every 3 years, the state of Oregon requires all school districts to do a kind of check-in and check on their school wellness assessment. The school wellness assessment was due this year, and as my first year as a director, I jumped right in and inserted myself into the WOW committee, and it's been a really great opportunity for me to meet staff members and be able to know key players at each school. What I did, knowing that we needed to get a full district report, was we had each WOW member that represented their school. They went ahead and helped me fill out where we had our strengths. So you give yourself a score of a 0, which means we're not meeting at all. A 1, which means we have several things that we need to work on. A 2 means we're meeting many of the requirements, and a 3 is like kind of a perfect score. So as you can see, we're pretty strong in everything that we're doing. We scored higher than a 1.89, so very close to a 2 on every single thing. The good part is the district is extremely invested on the wellness, not only of its staff and students, but on the well-being of comprehensively of everyone. And that really did show through on the evaluation, which we received a 3 out of 3 on, which is amazing. If you want to go to the next slide, I can't remember if sorry, it's been a while since I looked at it. Let's see. So as our district score, your total comprehensive score, our district scored a 91. And while we have a few things that we could work on, the WOW committee did feel that we, based on the fact that we were coming out of pandemic, that this was an amazing score for the Centennial School District. And the things that we do need to work on are things that the students talked about today. Things that as we're coming out of pandemic and as we're coming out of times that we are a little short-staffed, we are seeing situations that maybe the food isn't necessarily up to par. We are doing a lot of heat and serve because we're not fully staffed. Maybe bathrooms aren't being cleaned on a daily basis. Maybe custodial staff is a little short. Things that we as district directors are already looking at. I can tell you myself as a director and a new director this year, I right away jumped in at the high school for some students that had some really big asks in regards to school meals. And we started a committee. And we did some test tasting. I took some very serious notes, and we have turned around and increased our participation at the high school. We also were able to open up position for a nutrition coordinator in the nutrition department, and that person will be taking over the wellness part. It'll be a wellness and nutrition coordinator. We are in our final interview sets for that right now, and we're happy to report that we have 2 really great candidates that we'll be meeting with that have more of that dietitian, nutrition, scratch cooking that we're looking for, colorful, fresh, fresh on the plate type of thing. We're doing a huge remodel at Centennial High School on our serving line. So we'll be able to do a lot more things that the high school students are looking for when they go out to meals. That'll be something that they can have at their school. This year, we were able to implement CEP, which means that all students eat at no charge. And I think that that's also going to help take away the stigma. So as you can see, the district-wide, all students can eat 1 breakfast and 1 lunch at no charge. That takes away from that annual applications. And that's sometimes can be a real problematic for families maybe that don't speak a language. And would never want to have a language barrier. And we don't have any charging anymore, which is nice. Families receive benefits from their first day of school. We have no more negative balances that are accumulating here with Centennial, so that's great. It does free up staff at the central office that were processing applications to work on other projects. This year, that position was actually vacant for most of the year, and I also worked with 1 less person as well to show my team also that I also can work short-staffed. We're hoping that it already has increased participation, and we'll talk about that. But using this example, Butler Creek pre-COVID had an average of about 260 lunch meals per day. The old reimbursement was approximately 55%. I was getting at a free rate, 13% at a reduced, and 32% at a paid. And when people I get a paid reimbursement, obviously some of those students were paying for their meal as well, but also some students charged, and we did have some unpaid meal debt. This month, the participation has increased to an average at about 320 students with, I'm getting 90% reimbursement and a 10% paid reimbursement, and there's no meal debt that's happening and we have no charging. So we're looking at being able to take some of those monies and place them back into the program using the high school example that we're doing right now with getting out some new equipment and getting some new service lines for them. We're really excited about it. Go ahead and go to the next slide.
I think the next is on to me.
Okay, so just kind of in conclusion, the WellSat was really I thought well thought out, well done. It was something that as we work as Centennial and as we work with the Wellness Committee, we will definitely look at any small holes that we have, but we do offer PE, we offer nutrition education. We will continue that when I get my new nutrition coordinator in there. The first thing we're gonna do is re-implement back some of those grants that we had to let go. during the time that we were short-staffed and during COVID. So we'll be bringing back some of those fresh fruit and veggie grants and some of those farm to table grants that we had to kind of let go by the wayside, or just we really just didn't have the staff to be able to do it. And that'll be my next charge. And it could be that we're asking for parent involvement or even student involvement. If you want to see those fresh fruits and vegetables, at your school, then perhaps we will be working with the culinary group to possibly have them assist us and get those going. And just any other partnerships that we can do that's going to work with us, including some of the farms that we have in the area on my farm to school table. So again, thank you so much for your time. And I heard the students, I'm hearing parents too. This has been a challenging year, kind of coming out of pre-COVID, and we are here in Dining Services. We're committed to making raving fans out of our students and our parents. And hopefully by this time next year, when the students chat about it, they're going to be talking about the improvedness that they see in their plate and their excitedness to come to school breakfast and school lunch.
So about 5 years ago, we were awarded the Oregon Healthy Schools grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which was really exciting. And it was before we all knew about anything called COVID and a pandemic. So the purpose of this grant had 4 aspects. One was to increase the number of students who were consuming nutritious foods and beverages. And you can see from Kim's example, we do have more students now engaging in eating nutritious foods. It was also to support increasing the number of students who participated in daily physical education and physical activity. So physical activity can count as any structured activity that's intentional. So when teachers are adding movement breaks into their classroom, that can count as a physical activity. It doesn't always have to be during physical education classes. It also was to increase the number of students who could effectively manage their own chronic health conditions. So this was pre-COVID. This included our students who have asthma, who have diabetes, who might have allergies that are so significant. And so how to make sure that students were able to manage and or to access resources to support that. And then the grant also made connections between school and out of school time. What they call out of school time really has to do with extracurriculars, so many of the services that are provided through SUN. Those were all pieces that were covered as areas that they wanted to see across the nation, because this is a multi-state grant. They were looking for these improvements everywhere. And so for Centennial, many things have been going on across the district that are related to specific goals, even though they have different funding sources. This grant had a very tiny funding balance. So each year we were only awarded $12,000, which is tiny in the scheme of grants. And though there were really high hopes and big expectations for it. So we really wanted to highlight efforts that have been in the district that relate to the grant, as well as some pieces that were paid for the grant. The funds, specifically, given how small they were each year, covered expenses for professional development. They purchased some specific bags, which are called BIPA bags. They were developed out of Oregon State University, and it's kind of a to-go kit with many, many physical activities that teachers could incorporate during the day. They also supported many of our staff wellness activities because this was the most flexible funding source that we had to support our wellness efforts with staff throughout the years. And it also provided support for our suicide prevention efforts. And many of those things may not have seemed initially connected to the outcomes for the grant, but you can see in a minute additional pieces that the Center for Disease Control had connected to this grant also. So pieces that connected to the nutrition, food, and beverages is Kim has talked about multiple times, focusing on and retaining dining services staff, which support this effort. Across the 5 years, there's been an increase in the filtered water stations. We've also had, again, Kim spoke to many of the aspects around increasing that focus on healthier and tasting foods. And I love that she shared having student voice and students helping with taste testing to figure out what they want to eat. And even students had brought up earlier at the high school around portions, and Kim and her team were able to make some adjustments so that portions were larger for students at the high school. So really being able to put into action what students are sharing. Additionally, Kim also had spoke to having many of these pieces around farm to table and fresh fruits and vegetables returning to the district here very soon. With physical activities, we've spoken about the BIPA bags that were purchased, the bond, again, while this grant did not do that, the bond work that's happening specifically with the grants that will be included, the gyms that will be included in the 4 elementary schools opens up opportunities for physical education that have been controlled with having that shared gymnasium, auditorium, PE space. So that will be so exciting when those are available. And then during the pandemic, we did add in Playworks in a virtual setting. So they shared many activities that our PE teachers then were sharing out with families during comprehensive distance learning and hybrid. And then we also had Playworks support schools this year. And then the addition of middle school sports connects with that physical activity as well as the out of school time. Additional pieces around the managing the health conditions, having the addition of additional nurse and school health assistants has supported so many students. And for the last couple of years, we've all been collectively supporting the mitigation measures for COVID. So again, many of these things are in conjunction with the grant, and we had other funding sources to support that. Additionally, when we think about the 10 areas that the Center for Disease Control's whole school, whole child, whole community model is the underline for this grant, all of these things that we've added, again, different funding sources, but support this work. So having social workers, increased counselors, increased school psychs, the work around responsive classrooms is really helping those social emotional pieces. We've implemented requirements around Menstrual Dignity Act, which helps with so many things connected with health. The suicide prevention work connects with that mental health piece. We have so many partnerships. REAP was one of our partners. Today, we have new partners that we're working to build on. And then our school environment. So thinking about the cleanliness, having access for everyone, the bond work, and additional facility projects that are occurring. And so we bring all this as an update to you all and wanted to let you know that as of June 30th, this grant will be sunsetting, and that Kim, myself, Adrienne Hardin, along with the support from the CEA President Amanda Kassab and the OSCA President Christina Dow, have submitted and are waiting for an additional grant that hopefully will provide 5 years of employee wellness. So fingers crossed that we will be hearing from them sometime soon. And I do want to take a minute to thank all of our WOW committee members who have stuck through this work from the pandemic, pre-pandemic, and through this year. You can see them all here. They are encouraging their members on a regular basis to stay healthy. And many of the members last year worked to write a very short-term goal that has provided on-site employee wellness in the form of carrying carts, as well as some updates to staff lounges. And then additional pieces that we've supported along the way is Care Solace as a mental health resource for staff and for families and students, as well as we continue to have the employee assistance program that also supports. So there's much that's done behind the scenes, and these folks within the building are really to support that for our staff, and then they're feeding back information also that connects with students as well. So we thank all of you for your time this evening, and Kim and I can take a couple questions, and then we know we need to be moving on to other reports. So thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Denise and Kim. And so what I'd like to do is just make sure that board members have an opportunity to ask any questions that they have. So we'll just kind of go through the reverse order and touch base with each person. So Melissa, did you have any questions that you came up? Excellent. David, there you are on the screen.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Roger.
Seems like everything was covered really well, and it's very heartening to hear the progress that's already been made toward improvements in the school lunch program. Very impressive. Thank you.
Claudia.
Yeah, I'll echo what Roger said about improvements in the school lunch program and breakfast program. I think that's fantastic. To answer your question at the very beginning, Denise, I don't feel like that I need a presentation on this every year. I'd be happy to go through a slide deck like this and just go through confirmation items or something like that. It's very straightforward, and it doesn't seem to generate a whole lot of questions from board members.
Thank you. Jess?
Hello, yes, you know, as other directors, I look forward to seeing the continued progress with the lunch meeting, with the lunch program, the nutrition program. I sat in on one of the sessions at the high school to hear the student voice, and you know, I'm glad to hear it's continuing, and I hope to see that continuing, because I do feel it's, I mean, that's an important part of the experience in the buildings. This is my wheelhouse, fresh fruits and vegetables. So by all means, if you need someone, you know, someone to work with, someone to talk to, I've offered it up before. By all means, let me know. I know how to walk the walk and talk the talk, and I can be helpful if you need it, if you need the support. And the last thing I would say is the carrying carts are so much fun, you guys. If you get the opportunity to wheel the carrying cart, I've done it at the high school a couple of times, and it's a lot of fun to see the smiles on everyone's faces and to interact with the people in the building. So bravo on all of those fronts.
Thank you. Rose?
I just want to thank Denise for the work that she put into this, and especially Kim. You have been such a wonderful addition to Centennial, and I'm just really excited to see where you're going to be able to take this once you're all fully staffed. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Denise and Kim. The only thing I might add is those things that, as Director Andrews said, the presentation in the slide deck is really important, because I do see those kind of things. Having a comparative between where we've been and where we are, you know, is always kind of nice, because you've already committed in your statements and the materials that you presented. We know where we are, we know where we'd like to be, and however those grants might continue to support your work in making those happen. And then maybe there aren't going to be grants, but what do you see as yourself moving forward? And maybe that being part of the report, because it's nice to see and acknowledge the work that you've done and how much things grow and how much things change. So there are other measurements. I'm certainly in the world of our measurements, right? Things change on you. It would be nice for you to be able to tell us, you know, hey, we're making these, we're doing the things that we're being asked to do, but there's so much more than what you're just asked to do, right? And I love hearing those stories, because I know you're going to make the marks and hit the mark that you need to, as it relates to our district and to the state. But sometimes when we go above and beyond, and especially recognizing the people who are working with and the staff that you're bringing on and training to do this work. So incredibly important. Yeah, so just give us those really good nuggets of oh, this is good stuff that we've learned. So thank you again, both of you, for your report.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to Jess for coming to our meeting. I think it was really important to have a board member support as well when we had our student advocacy group, and we will be doing much more work. We had to kind of stop. We were doing it first period, and some kids were getting out of class. So we're going to do it as I think in a partnership with the SUN program after school. Same students, but we're not pulling them out of class that way. And after listening this evening, I think my next advocacy group will be at Park Lane Elementary.
Thanks
Thank
again,
you
everyone.
again. Okay, directors, bringing you back to the agenda. We're still in reports, and now we are at 5.3 Superintendent Year-End Report. So
All right.
here we go.
Thank you, Vice Chair Shields. Appreciate it. So I like to tell you when it's going to be a shorter report and a longer report. It's going to be a little bit on the longer side. There's a little bit of a connection to the previous report in terms of Vice Chair Shields' comment about tidbits of where we've been and where we're going. And that will hopefully be a theme that you see represented here. The last thing I will say as I cue this report up is that this will not be your normal report. So you will not be hearing about the state funding forecast and the changes that just happened in the legislature. You'll have to wait for your Friday email for that. This will be kind of a recap of the year. So I just want to frame your expectations accordingly. So the 2022-23 school year has been the second of what I would consider to be 2 building years in the Centennial School District. And of course, my dog is on cue. 2 building years in the Centennial School District, both figuratively and literally. In my mind, last year and this year, when we couple those 2 years together, are years where we, as the district leadership team, and we as a broader staff and community, have rolled up our sleeves and have both developed and fortified the foundation of our district structure for years to come. As you know, last year in 2021-22, significant time and focus was spent on high leverage items that were the products and outgrowth of the district's strategic plan Destination 2023, the voter approved 2020 bond, and the COVID-19 pandemic. These included capital bond projects, the conversion of Oliver Elementary into a middle school, the transition of 6th grade to the middle school level, the comprehensive boundary adjustment process, and the reestablishment of Destination 2023 strategies. In this year, we've had the opportunity to implement the things that we generated the previous year. The opening of Oliver Middle School, the introduction of 6th graders to the middle school level, welcoming students to new neighborhood schools through the boundary realignment, reopening renovated spaces such as the Centennial Pool, and focusing on a narrowed set of Destination 2023 strategies. And we continued to build. Bond projects have been in full swing. New projects have been identified with remaining contingency funds, and we engaged our community in the development of a successor 4-year strategic plan, while simultaneously satisfying the state of Oregon aligning for student success requirements. Thankfully, we were able to focus more fully on this work as the COVID-19 pandemic continued to ebb, layered mitigation strategies were eased, and staffing and substitute issues improved, resulting in what I would see as the most normal school year since the 18-19 school year. So it's been a long time since we've had a year like this. So I'll touch on those things in more detail in this report. In this report, I'll focus on the district's progress in the following key areas, and I'll share what I see to be priority areas for the future. The key areas that we focused on as a district for the 22-23 school year were implementing the structures that were established in 21-22. That was 6th grade to the middle school. That was Oliver Middle School. That was the comprehensive boundary adjustment. Completing bond projects. Implementing year 5 of our Destination 2023 key priorities and strategies. And then our strategic planning for 2022-23 and beyond, including the aligning for student success. I'll start with the implementation of the structures that we established last year and were able to roll out this year. So the 22-23 school year marked the beginning of a new chapter in the Centennial story as Oliver Middle School opened its doors to middle school students for the first time in decades. And both middle schools opened their doors to 6th graders for what I believe to be the first time. This new reality as a 2 middle school district has led to other firsts, such as the development of a brewing and healthy basketball rivalry at both schools, celebrated not only by having the opportunity to have an in-district opponent, but also having a basketball team to begin with. As you'll recall, we're still in the early phases of reinstating athletics at the middle school level. Basketball last year, wrestling this year, volleyball in the coming school year, and all of that in addition to the existing track program. This fall also marked the implementation of the comprehensive boundary adjustments, accompanying the conversion of Oliver Elementary School into a middle school and the realignment of 6th grade to the middle school level. Overall, this process was smooth and functioned as intended, which is noteworthy considering essentially closing an elementary school, opening a middle school, and redistributing the students and staff accordingly. It was no small undertaking. Bond projects were in full force during the 22-23 school year. Led by Centennial's owner's representative, Scott Rose, Director of Business and Operations, Paul Southerton, and chronicled by Chief Communications Officer, Albert Rosales Correa, substantial progress was made. Oregon law requires that 85% of capital bond proceeds be spent within the first 3 years of the sale of capital bonds. Overall, bond projects continue to be on track, and we have already met the requirement of the 85%. Some projects, such as the gymnasium additions, and the Pleasant Valley Seismic Improvement Project, which is partially bond funded, have been delayed from our initial schedule due to permitting, supply chain issues, labor shortages, and weather. However, overall, during the 22-23 school year, this was a very successful year in completing bond projects. This includes, and you'll see some pictures here reflecting, the renovations and updates of both middle schools, millions of dollars of roofing, mechanical, and other capital maintenance projects, the rebuilding of the Centennial High School swimming pool, security vestibules, cameras, and safety system upgrades, and other projects have been completed or are on track to be completed here shortly. Overall, bond projects continue to be on budget. Despite the aforementioned challenges, the district is projected to have more than $4 million in bond funds remaining after completing all the projects and keeping all the promises. This $4 million in remaining funds will be spent on additional bond measure projects that serve students and our community. In addition, in the fall of 2022, a facilities plan update committee was convened consisting of several bond oversight committee members, CEA representation, principals, and other stakeholders. A deliverable of the committee was a recommendation for the bond oversight committee and the Board of Education for projects that should be added to the list of approved bond projects, utilizing the remaining projected $4 million of contingency funds. Previous below the line items were honored and reviewed by the committee, as well as new items that were discovered during construction or that have presented issues over the last 3 years. As a result of the process, the following projects were board approved as additional bond projects. Centennial Middle School 2-story cooling, which we know is needed yesterday. Centennial High School Tier 2 roofing replacement. Centennial High School intercom system replacement and upgrade. Butler Creek boiler upgrades. Targeted exterior lighting for improved safety at each school as needed. Individual student restrooms at Centennial High School, and the Centennial High School fire alarm systems funds permitting. The Bond Oversight Committee has continued its diligent oversight of the bond projects throughout the 22-23 school year. So far, the committee has met 3 times to view progress of current projects, and we'll be meeting again soon as well, to address concerns about interruptions to progress, receive information about discovered and or mandatory work, review funding, review project modifications, view construction sites, and then track budgetary targets. In addition to all of this, through the board's foresight and leadership, we were able to break ground on phase 1 of the stadium complex improvements, which will include an all-weather turf field, seismic and safety improvements to the stadium, parking and sidewalk improvements, upgrades to the public restrooms and team rooms, bus parking relocation, and track resurfacing. With the exception of the track resurfacing, these projects will not use bond dollars and instead will be completed through the board reserve fund dedicated to one-time expenses such as facility improvements. On to the third point here. Organizationally, the 2022-23 school year represented a transition from pandemic recovery to a more of an academic focus. As such, we were able to more fully turn our attention to our 5th and final year of our strategic plan, Destination 2023. Given that Destination 2023 sunsets in a little over a month, I'll use the opportunity now to take stock of the progress that we made this year. I will note that this part will be a little bit jargony. So if there's anything that I want you to get from this review, and I see Melissa is smiling there because she knows the education needs. If there's anything I want you to get from this review, it is a couple of things. We chose to focus our energy this year on strategy implementation and adult practice rather than student outcomes. So what you'll see reflected in subsequent slides is the actions of adults. We intend for our follow-on 23-27 strategic plan to better balance adult actions with ongoing measurements of student growth and achievement. First is student-focused teaching and learning. This is the first of our four strategic plan pillars. Educator collaboration is central to meeting the needs of our learners. Collaboration can look many different ways. In a PLC, however, essential elements of this collaboration are specific and they're defined. This year allowed the opportunity to recalibrate and bolster our efforts in this area. Ways in which this happened include providing resources and supports for PLCs, defining the role of coaches and administrators in the process, and coaches facilitating listening sessions with PLC groups to assess their learning needs for the future. A balanced assessment system recognizes that classroom formative assessments and other local practices coexist with summative assessments like state assessments to create multiple measures to provide a fuller picture of student performance. Movements in the areas of assessment include building and implementing a district assessment calendar, increasing staff capacity in various assessment systems such as Acadience, STAR, and Data Warehouse, strengthening the use of data within school-based PLC and multi-tiered system of supports, continued learning and importance of perception data through an administrator book study, Street Data. And in the third column, effective, culturally relevant, and responsive curriculum and instructional practices was an area of focus, considering the district implemented new K-12 language arts and English language curriculums this year. Particularly given the population of students that we serve, a substantial portion of which are English language learners, oral language development is critical. Therefore, adult understanding of language development and the provision of language supports has become an area of emphasis for Centennial schools. Key actions this year included embedded structured student talk strategies into language arts and ELD curriculum, providing constructing meaning training for educators, and implementing the lesson study protocol for teachers to deepen their understanding of the newly adopted curriculums. I understand that each of these bullet points could be its own board report, so I want to recognize that. The second pillar for our strategic plan was our healthy culture and environment. Attending to the social and emotional learning needs of students is foundational to their ability to both attend to instruction and also to feel a sense of belonging in the classroom. Key actions in this area included the implementation of responsive classrooms training in each elementary and middle school, Playworks recess support in each elementary school and at Centennial Middle School, and the incorporation of advisory periods and lessons at the secondary level. School counselors are integral to the total education program. They support students' academic, social, and emotional needs, which is essential in removing barriers to learning and developing skills and behaviors critical for academic achievement. Key actions in this area this year included continued focus on the comprehensive school counseling program. This has focused on career and connected learning as well as suicide prevention. There was a specific portion about the 2020 bonds, so I'll leave it there, except to say there was a lot happening this year. And on the COVID-19 front, fortunately, things substantially improved on the COVID-19 front, particularly after winter break. So it was nice to catch a much needed break after years of stress related to layered mitigation protocols and illnesses. That said, we kept on top of our key actions related to tracking and communicating changes in COVID-19 community levels, which there weren't many changes this year. It was at the low level most of the year. Following the county reporting and notification processes, and maintaining school level COVID-19 management plans. For multi-tiered systems of support, we've got effective systems and programs as our third pillar. And the first one you see is MTSS, and that stands for multi-tiered systems of support, which provides a proactive and preventative framework that integrates data and instruction to maximize student achievement and support student social, emotional, and behavioral needs from a strengths-based perspective. MTSS offers a framework for educators to engage in data-based decision-making related to program improvement, high-quality instruction and intervention, and social emotional learning, and positive behavioral supports necessary to ensure positive outcomes for students. Key strategies related to MTSS this year include the addition of a school-wide MTSS coach, or a district-wide MTSS coach, to support implementation for all schools. the establishment of regular Tier 1 meetings at all schools, and presentations to building staff to better increase awareness and understanding for staff in general. Another one of our priorities was the development of comprehensive action plans, which I'll explain here. The development of school-based plans connected to the district strategic plan is an important tool to focus school-based efforts and to promote organizational alignment and consistency. And it's something that has become less established during the pandemic. Fortunately, this was a practice we were able to reestablish district-wide across all schools this year. From now through the end of June, schools will be working to establish updated plans that are reflective of our new strategic plan and incorporating equity audit findings. Our fourth and final pillar is community and partnerships. Particularly given the improving conditions related to the pandemic, we were able to enhance our community engagement efforts this year. At the school level, this could look like more opportunities to invite families in for musicals, such as I believe Meadows had one last night, conferences and family nights. At the district level, community engagement was a critical component of our strategic planning process, which I'll touch on further here shortly. Another advancement this year was the development of a community partnership inventory, which can serve a variety of purposes. In our case, it was a helpful tool to ensure we were reaching out broadly to our community partners for our strategic planning process, and it'll also prove helpful going forward in a couple of ways. First, it'll help specialists and administrators know what partnerships and resources are available given various circumstances, and we can also perform a gap analysis to see where new resources might be needed based on what we currently have. Finally, I'm going to transition to our strategic planning for 2023 and beyond. During this school year, Centennial engaged in a comprehensive strategic planning process. Its primary aim was to align all stakeholders on a shared vision, common goals, and unified direction for our district's educational efforts for the next 4 years. Community-wide involvement has been vital to the strategic planning process. Therefore, we designed the process in ways that embrace the diverse voices of our district stakeholders. This included composing several key groups to help develop our roadmap. These groups included student voice focus groups comprised of students from each school. You see pictures from a couple of those schools here. A core planning team of roughly 70 individuals representing a cross-section of the Centennial community, including staff from all levels, parents, students, community partners, and board members. An instructional focus team of 30 or so staff representing a range of roles and responsibilities specifically related to instruction. A student voice team composed of middle and high schoolers. An alignment team consisting of 25 to 30 key decision makers and opinion shapers from key institutions within the community, including community-based organization leaders, business and higher education leaders, and governmental entities. In January, we held 2 family and community forums. One was in person and the other virtually, with participation from over 100 participants who had the opportunity to view and weigh in on draft graduate portrait and draft goals and measures for student success. As an accompanying part of our strategic planning process has been the integration of an in-depth equity audit. Through this process, representatives from the National Center for Urban School Transformation from San Diego State University visited each classroom, met with focus groups of students, parents, classified staff, and licensed staff respectively, and observed each school's professional learning community or PLC process. From these observations, each school has or is in the process of receiving a report offering both affirmation and recommendations for growth for schools and for the district. Schools have already started using these reports with their respective staffs to help inform their continuous action plans for the next school year. And this process is not finished. Even though we are less than a month to the end of the school year, there is much to be done over the next few weeks and over the summer as we prepare for the 23-24 school year. And you'll see in bold here some of the hot topics that are going on for the next few weeks. This includes holding a second principal and cabinet meeting to review the instructional audits and staff surveys, to determine priority goals and measures for next school year, to draft a professional development plan for 23-24. Finalizing the portrait of a graduate, and yes, I promise we're almost there on that one. I've heard from Director Lynn early in the year that he was a little bit ready to move on to a new topic, so that'll get finished here pretty quick. Aligning operational department priorities to the strategic plan pillars. We also intend on hosting a leadership retreat with cabinet, principals, and their respective leadership teams the Tuesday after the release of the school year for the purpose of a data and survey reflection, developing school-based continuous achievement plans for 23-24. And then we also plan to work with the board to develop an equity indicator dashboard. I know that was something the board was interested in, establishing excellence targets and benchmarks, and then discussing the final recommendations and report findings from the equity audit. As I mentioned at the outset, we have spent the past couple of years laying the foundation and building the structures to better support Centennial students for years into the future. Here you can see some other foundational elements that have been established over the last 2 years, not to mention each of our secondary schools this year, and most are new this year. So Centennial Middle School, Oliver Middle School, Centennial High School, and Centennial Virtual Academy each have new administrators, none of which are new to the district, but all of which are new to their position. And then also most of our cabinet members being new to their position and the district over the last couple of years. So you might be wondering, where is all of this leading and what are we building toward? In my mind, in the coming year and over the next few years, Centennial has afforded itself the ability to focus intently on implementing its strategic plan. Of course, there will be new and emergent issues that will present themselves and need attention. However, by and large, the work we have done by rolling up our sleeves and doing what has been in front of us will allow us now to focus our energies. So what will that look like, you might ask? Over the next year, we plan to embark on a step-by-step process for implementing our strategic plan and priorities at the classroom, school, and system level. By dividing the work into discrete, calendar-driven chunks and using targeted tools and resources, we believe that we can reduce the implementation gap normally associated with improvement plans. By executing our plan with fidelity, school and district leaders can turn their intentions into effective professional practices and stronger results for students. Sounds promising, right? So what will that consist of? Our intention is to collaborate with our strategic planning consultant to work through the following tasks in the following intended frequency. This is meant to give you a brief snapshot of what we've discussed, which we can cover more in depth at the board retreat in the fall. So this is just giving you an idea of where all of this is going. Every 3 to 6 years, which we just did this year, develop a strategic plan and instructional focus, develop an equity plan. So we've got that, we've almost finished that. Our follow-on plan is in 4 years. At the start of the school year, develop the school-based continuous achievement plans to align to the district plan, develop classroom observation and learning walk tools, and create a professional learning and collaboration plan. At the middle of the year, reflect and plan, administer surveys like we did this year, middle and end of year, and then also progress report to the community about how we're doing. We'll start by developing and implementing a roadmap calendar. So we need to calendar all of this stuff out. And then we'll have things that we'll establish and then monitor. Those include, and some of these may be repetitive in terms of them being woven into each other, an equity indicator dashboard, excellence targets in benchmarks, a vital signs scorecard, which people normally know as KPIs or key performance indicators, measures of progress. We'll track the completion of the tasks that we have, and we'll also track leadership growth and effectiveness and provide updates and engagement with the board along the way. On a monthly basis, we intend to provide each school leader with high performance coaching in both individual and collaborative settings, and then also conduct data summits each trimester where people are sharing just like grade level or content level PLCs do. In summary, the future in Centennial is bright, promising, thanks to the work of our collective community in establishing a solid foundation and building the necessary structures to support educators and supporting students both next year and into the future. It's been my pleasure to feature this work, and with that, I'm happy to address any questions, and that concludes my superintendent's year-end report.
Whoops. Where'd my camera go? Coming back. Oh, I had it. There I am. Thank you. Okay, that was like extensive and oh my gosh. You forget until you see it all written down and put on slides like that, just what has gone on. And simply and somewhat amazing what you as you and your staff have accomplished in this environment that we've been coming out from under. So wow. Let's go through our board members though, and any specific questions or comments that you would like to make, and I'm trying to keep it organized. So again, Rose, I'll give you a moment to get your stuff together, but Jess, let's start with you.
Thanks for the report. Yeah, it's really exciting to see all the work that has happened, all the successes that we've had, and the progress that we're making as a district over the last year. The new strategic plan is great, and I just look forward to the momentum continuing and the progress continuing, and I'm looking forward to implementing and making us a valuable district for our students. That's really what all this effort is for our students and scholars to go on and have future success.
Thank you. Rose?
Yes, I just pulled in my driveway, so I made it safely. Thank you very much. Fantastic, man. You guys have rocked it this year, and so much has been accomplished. And I'm just really looking forward to continuing this progress in the future. And I mean, I know you said you wanted to wait till Friday, but I was in Salem with the House Democrats today, and they're pretty confident we're going to get to 10-3. I think they're at 10-2 now, but they're really confident. So we're going to be fully funded to be able to do some more great work. So thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Claudia?
Chair Shield or Vice Chair Shield said that just what was going through my mind. It's been a heck of a year, and a lot has been accomplished. That's kind of what I consider sort of bedrock work, establishing the strategic plan, not totally concluding the bond work, but getting through that facilities improvement plan to determine how to spend the contingencies. And then just all the other things that have gone on this year. Really great job, Superintendent Owens, to you and your cabinet, just and frankly all the staff at Centennial School District, but also just in the effort to make the district the best for its students. I think it's really fantastic. So I'm looking forward to next year, where it may not be quite as intensive laying the groundwork, that we can actually see growth and in many different ways in the students in the district. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Roger?
There we are.
There you are. Oops.
Okay, there we go. Well, I've appreciated the year serving with you folks on the board, and I've appreciated the thoroughness of Superintendent Owens and the cabinet as they have tackled the many things that need to be done coming out of the COVID period. It's given me a new appreciation for what they do, and also to see the dedication of the teachers, the staff, classified, all the people that put out their best efforts every day for the good of Centennial students, and I do appreciate that.
Thank you. David?
No questions right now. I'm just excited for the next steps. So thank you everyone for your efforts.
Melissa?
I just am incredibly impressed with how student-centered everything has been, and how the heart of all of our learners and their voices have been in every step. So as a mom of many of those kids and a teacher of hundreds of kids, if that wasn't what I was seeing, I would be worried. So I'm not. I'm encouraged, I'm excited, and I'm actually really happy to be around for another 4 years. So let's do this thing. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you. One of the things I keep reflecting on is the fact that you are a freshman, sophomore superintendent, and the breadth of what you have taken on and accomplished, and the team that you pull together in your cabinet. I just appreciate when you bring your cabinet members forward in your reports, just the level of expertise that you've been able to pull together. Every time any one of you see yourselves here on the screen tonight, any one of you who come forward and give a report, it's just like, you guys are just at the top of your game, top of what you do. And so you certainly make James look good. But I think, James, you have that unique ability to bring together people and let them shine, but then give them the support that they need to be able to do that. And to be able to put this kind of level of comprehensive strategy behind each of the things that you mentioned tonight, whether it was our strategic planning or the bond, or coming back and thinking about where we've been in terms of the parts, thinking about the curriculum, that reports, all of these things that every month we go through. It's just like, dang, what a quality group of people that we have the opportunity to watch produce for the very most important, and that's the students, the kids, and the itty bitties that we serve. So I'm just very proud of who you guys are, what you guys accomplish, and how you represent us. It makes it very easy to be on a board that can look at this kind of quality across from our superintendent through our entire cabinet. It makes it an easy job to have as a board member. So it's not that we don't have challenges, we will have challenges, but it's the way you approach the challenges that is appreciated, and the time that you and efforts that you all as individuals and you as their leader, James, present. I'm just continually impressed with everybody on this team. So thank you so much. Make sure that slide deck gets put out there because we can be reminded of, oh my gosh, I think when you do that, it helps us go through, oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Most of the time I was going, oh yeah. And we did that just this year. So, yes, good job all the way around. And thank you so much, James, for the end of year report. Any other comments? James, do you want to wind up anything on that before we move on? And guys, we could take a break, but we're very close to being done. So I'm unless you looking at me and say, no, I'm going to power through. So power through.
Yeah, I'd like to say that everything I intended to say was in the report, but really, I mean, what you see on the screen is our leadership team. So that extends cabinet and board, and collectively, the leadership being provided here and at the school level. And in particular, our staff who are doing the work and working with the students every day and supporting the structures for them. I think it takes a collective effort, and it was good to see the community pull together this year to get so much done. So thank you.
Excellent. All right, board members, let's just, get this done because I think we can do it. We're into section 6, which is our confirmation items, and they're listed. Excuse me. May I have a motion to approve confirmation items as listed in the agenda?
I make a motion to approve confirmation items as listed in the agenda.
Second?
I'll second it.
Yay. So that Melissa was our maker of the motion and Rose was our second for this motion. All those in favor of approving the confirmation items as listed on the agenda for this evening, indicate by saying aye and waving.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
But
Thank you so much. Looks like-
technicality, if you don't mind,
Say again?
in the budget calendar, it says for the budget calendar for 23-24, but I believe it's just changing the one date from the 22-23 calendar, budget calendar.
Yeah, Director Southerton, you guys.
It's just the June 7th date.
Correct. Yeah, it's the budget for the 23-24 school year. And we are changing the hearing date from June 14th to June 7th. You may recall that we changed the board meeting to June 7th to accommodate the high school graduation on the 14th. We needed to follow through and change the calendar for the budget committee as a separate action. And so that's what this does, is it only changes the budget hearing to June 7th.
It's just the wording on the document title says budget calendar for 23-24. Probably would say budget calendar for 23-24 budget.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
And the document itself says 2021-2022 budget calendar for 22-23. There's 3 years in there, but it's okay. Like, I'm all for it. I understand it, I think, but I just wanted to make sure.
So we've confirmed it, but we need the corrections to make sure that we're allocating the correct year and making sure that we have the date of June 7th as the time that this board meets together and makes the recommendation to approve. And we better after what the budget committee has been going through. So absolutely. Okay, I think that's the understanding. I'm looking again now at section 7 of the agenda, board action items. There isn't anything listed. I'm going to Superintendent Owens. Is there anything though that under 7.1 as old or 7.2 as new business that I missed or have done something I should do?
No, Vice Chair.
Okay. Then board members, will go to Superintendent Owens for section 8, feature agenda items, and then back to you as board members as well, if you would have anything that you would like to bring up.
So a couple things. Number one, I think next week is our first Wednesday since spring break that we don't have a meeting. So kudos to you for that well-deserved break. We'll be back in action on June 7th. And we intend for that to be our last board meeting of the year. Now, we've held a board meeting later in June, just in case. Hopefully we don't need that, but we will see. We still have long-term longitudinal growth and performance targets that are due to the state. So beware. I'll read a laundry list of things that I have for future agenda items. Executive session for superintendent evaluation, spring athlete recognition, the budget hearing, and the vote for budget adoption, longitudinal growth and performance targets, which we are in the process of developing a recommendation and collaborating with the state on those. A student rep report and an opportunity to recognize Edwin for his service. Superintendent report, of course. And then ideally, we will confirm the hiring of an elementary learning administrator. And then there were supposed to be some bond and ESSER projects that were on the list for this meeting. Those got bumped to the next meeting. As a reminder, those are ventilation improvements for windows and doors, bond projects for the restroom addition or additions at CHS, and exterior lighting.
Thank you. Board members, is there anything else that you see as missed maybe in that laundry list, Claudia?
So it's not missed, it's, are you, Vice Chair Shields or Chair Slawski going to tell us how we're going to do the superintendent evaluation tonight and when we're going to get the, okay.
So Rose, did you want to take that?
Yep, I was just going to mention something about that. Thanks for bringing that up. Yes, there will be, the form will be going out now. I think that I'll wait until Friday so that y'all have a copy of the report to peruse as you're going through, if that's okay. But yep, that'll come out Friday. With a detailed list of instructions as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Good.
And then we will have, as we normally do, our executive session for our board opportunity to discuss. And then the presentation to for our chair then to summarize, if you will, and to create the report, the end of year evaluation for the superintendent. We will have an opportunity to discuss that with Superintendent Owens as well. So it's a big deal and necessary to do.
And a lot of people have worked really hard this year on ensuring that it's a well thought out and intentioned review process. So I really look forward to implementing that this year.
Any other board members, comments or concerns? Can I ask then for, is there any other good of the order, if you will, that you'd like to mention or bring up?
Vice Chair Shields, I have updated the calendar. If the board would like to review that, I've corrected that typo. I'm happy to display that again for the board to see it. And if needed.
Board members, are we good? We're
Okay.
good. We trust you. We know how that can happen. So that's all good. So any other good of the order? I'm kind of looking around and just making sure I don't miss anybody. Claudia?
Of course, I have something to say. I always do. This is about the Gresham Historical Society again. And interestingly enough, they got a grant a year ago to do oral histories. And the process was not just to collect new oral histories, but was to inventory existing oral histories, which are all on cassette tapes, haven't been digitized. Very few have been transcribed. But the reason I bring this up to this group is there happens to be an oral history, and I don't know the date. It's got to be from the 80s or 90s for Harold Oliver. And I thought that might be something once it gets done. I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea if he's talking about the schools, I assume so, because I believe that the schools were a major part of his career. Anyway, so it's yet another connection between the Gresham Historical Society and the Centennial School District.
Oh, that's cool. We uncovered a number of things about him when we were doing the renaming of the schools.
Yeah.
A lot of that was in some of our historical documents at the district level. It'd be interesting if we have something that that maybe the Historical Society doesn't even have at this point in time. It was kind of uncovered. There's somebody I know who might know a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
I can check on that.
Right. Yes, at home.
Anyone else?
I just want to give a really big thank you to Vice Chair Shields for stepping in for me today and running the meeting. You did a beautiful job, and I've taken a few pointers from you. So
thank you. But thank you for being in Salem.
Yep.
I mean, that was a good tidbit that you shared with us. Yeah. All right then, people. It is 8:19 p.m. and we're calling for the adjourn. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute, Albert. What's going on? I see a hand.
Yeah, Vice Chair Shields, we'll look up the event that Chair Andrews is talking about, and it's not on their website. I just looked it up, so as soon as I find it, we'll make sure that we get that to you all.
Perfect. All right then. Have we moved up 8:19? I'm looking at my timestamp. Nope, we're at 8:19. So Missy, you can move us off at 8:19 for adjournment for the Centennial School District work session. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone.